there's a value in networking.
I like in-person dealing more now with the shows.
There was a lot of foul activity going on, and no one's talking about it.
I feel like I see less patience in the hobby today. And I want to get your thoughts on it. When you hear of the large dollar amounts now around PMGs, what do you think?
What it takes for someone to spend that much money on any card.
Fanatics did something tonight I had never heard about. They have a lottery.
We got you on the line.
Oh my goodness, we're both on the line.
I don't think that the fact that they did V-Friends and Jackass is going to have any impact on how they treat sports cards.
You got to let the people know who you're rolling with, man.
Well, obviously I'm rolling with FD.
What's up, y'all? This is crazy, right? It's Monday, June 6th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Actually, 6:04 right now. Let me walk y'all through something that happened that's crazy that I've never experienced before. So I'm on, thought I hit the button to go live. I'm talking, and I'm by myself. Crazy. I look up, I'm like, I think I'm sitting here by myself talking right now. This is What's the Play. What's the Play? Stay ready with J Mike and FD. J Mike is in the green room right now getting ready. We got a lot of topics that we want to talk about. But I want to ask you all to jump in, put in the comments, what do you want to talk about tonight? I want this to be interactive, always. I want some people to bring up, because we have a good group here that brings up stuff that sometimes I'm not even thinking about at the moment, but I may have already done research on or just read something about. So please come, let me know what you would like to hear, talk about, or see tonight. Again, if you're just tuning in, J Mike is in the green room, getting ready, about to come out. So we all know last night there was a basketball game. Wednesday, there's going to be another basketball game, right? Hey, what's up, Baker boy? It's good to have you here. Always good to see you. You got to tell me now I want to get a little bit deeper with you, though. You got to tell me more about what's up with the donuts in the picture. I think they're cool donuts, but you got to let me know more about them. There was a game last night. There will be a game Wednesday. There will be a game Friday. I'm trying to think about what else. We're getting close to football starting. I always think that after July 4th, we start talking a little bit more about mini camp starting, rookies reporting. I mean, what are they doing in camp? A whole bunch of other stuff. So football is about to be a thing to talk about here, which is kind of exciting, right? You got Brady back with Tampa Bay. There are still some free agents. Like, I don't know where Ndamukong Suh is going to play at. Will he be with the Raiders? Will he be in Tampa? Where will he be? It's going to be a second, third year, fourth year for some key players that have come out. What are they going to be doing? Hey, Mike.
Hold on, Mike. Is that?
Do you have a computer on with your phone? Yeah. Yeah, maybe mute your computer.
Look, I'm not on the. Yeah, you hear me?
I hear you now.
You hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, you look good, man. What's up?
Not much, man.
Yeah, this is clear. I see you. You're doing well now. You're doing well.
Okay.
J Mike, what's new and exciting? It's been a little bit since we've been on.
I'm getting ready to go defend my national title in Vegas. I leave on Thursday.
There you go.
Beat up on these whippersnappers.
There you go. There you go. What kind of weight you been putting up, man? What are you looking to go for? What's the record?
Wait, say again?
What's the? You going for a record? What's the weight you're going for?
I've been 660 pounds unofficially, but officially competition I've done 623. The all-time, I don't think I'm ready for the record right now. In terms of, I'm a drug test lifter, so the numbers are a little bit different. But I should be able to do something decent. I think anywhere between 612 to 620 is where I'm at right now.
A serious weight, people. if you don't know about lifting, he's saying that J. Mike is, humble guy. He knows what he's doing. He's lifting. He goes through his form too. That's what I look at. His form is tight, but 660 pounds, serious weight, people.
And I do it by myself. No spotters.
Yep.
No nothing. I'm not saying that's the smartest thing to do, but that's the only way I can get my training in. If I don't do that, I'm not going to get my training in.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's because, let me just say, you tell the people why that is. I don't even want to speak for you. I know when I used to lift a lot, why, but you tell the people why that is.
Wait, say that again?
Tell everyone why you have you see you have the need to lift solo and not with a spotter to get your work in before the competition.
I lift at weird hours of the night. So it's like I can't guarantee, like, I'm not going to turn down a spot. Like, if I'm in the gym and I got 600 pounds on the bar, I'm going to get a spot. But I don't have that option here at my house. So my setup, I actually have a not foolproof setup, but I have a lot of safety measures in my setup to where if I fail a lift, the weight will get caught and I can get from underneath the weight. Because I miss lifts all the time. Not all the time. I missed probably this particular prep. I've missed 2 lifts, and I missed them last week. I missed 638, and I missed a 620 lift. But I was able, if it's on my chest, I can get from underneath it, and the little safeties catch the weight. So It's not the smartest thing to do, but I won 2 world titles and broke a bunch of world records doing it my way. So I just stick with what works.
I can tell you this: even if you go to a gym, somebody has 660 pounds on the bar, you got to make sure you know who's spotting you. On the flip side,
they'll hurt you.
Yeah,
like
they can hurt or kill you.
They'll hurt you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So I know whenever I would get up to some weight that I thought was necessary, I had a person behind me and one on each side to balance each other out, because you gotta have the right person behind you or above your head on that kind of weight, because they can get away from the average person, get away from them quick.
But with the bench press, like on squat, I understand it, but on bench press, it's a weight. There's only a couple things that's gonna happen. If I bring the weight down and I just can't lift it, somebody could be over me and pick it up. But
that person has to be able to pick that up.
Well, not really, because you're not gonna you're gonna assist them in picking it up. You know what I'm saying? So they just have to lift a fraction of what the weight is. It's not like
we talking about 660, bro.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so say for instance, if I'm not gonna find somebody who can't bench press 135.
That's my point. That's my point.
Yeah. So, and also, if I'm benching 6, so say for instance, I'm not somebody who's just about to YOLO, like, hey, put 700 on the bar, let's see if I could do it. Everything I do is based on my training. So if my training says I did 625 for a double, that means I could do 660. I'll try 660. I'm not gonna go too far outside of that. But for the most part, I'm pretty smart about how I do it. Now I get a lot of people like, oh, he's an egomaniac and all this kind of stuff. He doesn't have a spot. I have people who hate on him because I don't use spotters. I don't have a team. It's just me. Like most lifters at my level, they have like a whole crew just around them. Now, when I go to competitions, I do have a crew. I have a guy who racks my weights. I have a guy who makes sure I know the numbers that I'm going to be doing platform. But those guys are in Dallas, so they just come and help me on meet day. Because meet day, I'm a mess. You know what I'm saying? I'm favored to win this competition by like 40 pounds over the next person. So it's like, if I don't do well, it's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So I need to shut the door. So yes, I benched like 590, like it was nothing. So I know I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? So now I won't do anything for the rest of the week. Play pool. I just play pool. So I play pool. I played pool for a living as a kid when I was in college. But now I use pool so I don't go do dunking or do something where I get hurt while I'm in my season.
That's good stuff, man. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I hope so. It's my second time going to Vegas. It should be fun. You know what I'm saying? I could win a little bit of money, a couple $1,000. I'm trying to win our pro series. We have a new thing they started where you get like the top bencher for the entire year gets like a bunch of money. And I chose that over, the international route where I was doing before. Our federation got kicked out. So I had to pick, which one I wanted to do. And for business purposes, I get to wear my apparel on the platform. So in the other federation, I can't do that. So the fact that I could wear my stuff on the platform helps me sell my apparel. So look, I weighed that and took, that business option.
Okay. So what do you want to jump into, man? What do you want to talk about?
So it's a couple things I wanted to talk about.
Jump in it.
So over the last couple of weeks, I don't know if they got, if you've seen anything about these, but the feeder boxes for these are in GameStop.
Okay.
And if you notice, these they're 99 cents a pack, right?
Mm-hmm. How many packs in a box?
48.
Okay.
These say $3.99.
Okay.
I saw these originally was saying $2.99 a pack. I'm like, I don't want to pay $2.99 for a pack of Dawn Rush or whatever. But then I saw these, I was like $3.99. I was like, that's crazy. Well, I go into a GameStop and these are 99 cents. So I buy a couple hundred of them, right? I'll go around the city and buy up all this because these were still $3.99. Well, then these went to 99 cents as well. So I spent about $2,000 on these, right?
What'd you pull?
So some people, this is low-end product, right?
Yeah.
But the yellow cards that you see for Dawn Rush and Hoops come out of these gravity feeds. I had no idea where those cards came from. I saw the Cunningham yellow, and I was like, damn, I was like, that's a good-looking card. So I was interested in picking the card up. Because it's like, man, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was interested, and I was like, man, that's a good card. So I started buying.
Is that card numbered at all?
No, they're not numbered. Okay. But I had no idea where they came from. So I'm sitting up there buying them. I'm buying the different players that I like in this yellow. So I'm like, these come from the 99-cent packs or the $3.99 packs. So when they went on sale, I looked the prices up. These are $4 a piece. So I started, opening up packs. And over time, I wound up getting 5. I pulled 5 of them. Like I got 5 of the yellows. I got a couple of blues. The blues come in the regular packs, but I started buying these. And I was trying to, because I'm looking at, I'm like $2,000 for a box of cards, and you're not going to get anything out of it. I said 2,000 of those yellow packs. I got at least 5. I got at least 10 K Cunninghams between the Dawn Rush and the Hoops in yellow that sell for $40 to $50. I got about 8 Evan Mobley's, the greens, and all that stuff. So I did a little experiment, and if I sell those cards, get at least 1,000 of them for free, based on the numbers. You know what I'm saying? So I just started messing around with that real crazy, and just looking at purchasing different cards. Because this year rookie class, there's really not a lot out on them. But I found some sets of the base stuff, or not the stuff that's not that expensive, like the hollows from Hoops.
Yeah.
So I bought all of the top rookies in these, completed the set in the yellow. Like, there's something different, because the way the stuff is now, man, it's like, I believe Panini is purposely sabotaging the hobby. So
I've heard people say this. Like, what's your take on that? Why do you think that?
I 100% believe that they're purposely putting out bad product, and they're trying to destroy the hobby so that Fanatics has to pay them double multiplier what they've been offered already. Because if they keep doing this,
what bad product do you see them putting out?
I mean, the Prism is pretty bad, man. The Prism is pretty bad. I've watched probably 10 to 15 breaks, and the quality control on everything is really bad. The single prices are never going to really equate to the box prices, which that never happens.
Never.
But it's like even worse now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I can see that. I thought last year with LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, the left to right centering just seemed off intentional.
Yeah,
like,
I got two good LaMelo from last year.
I got one. I got one that had a nice grade on it. But when you go to a show and you look at them raw, you're like, man, that thing is off. You know that's no better than a 9, maybe an 8.5 centering.
But see, I have like so part of my issue with all this stuff is that I open everything. Like
I know you do.
Like the other day, I went last year. I go up and Rite Aid or what's the name of the place with CVS. They had packs of 2017 hoops just there. So I bought like 20 packs of them, and I was saving them. I was like, man, I'm gonna hold on to them. You know, so then during the playoffs, you know, people started, they had Bam Adebayo, Tatum was in the playoffs. I'm like, man, let me rip some of this. I wanted to get in a Bam, but I didn't get anything else out of all those packs. And I was like, damn, I could have sold that for $25 a pack, you know, and I missed out on it, you know what I'm saying? But I just open up everything. You know, even the 99-cent packs, they sell for like $2. Like the Gravity box sells for about $100. So it's a flip if you really want to, flip some stuff. But I wind up opening it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it don't. But I like to pull my cards. I don't like the buying. Like buying graded cards is cool. But
what about buying raw though? What about buying like good raw cards?
Huh?
Buying good raw cards.
I'm all for that. I'm all for it. It just depends on what it is. So in years past, I would not, if I didn't pull it, I wouldn't want it. You know, that's kind of how it was. Now I'm kind of like, I don't mind. So I started buying, like I said, I've picked up certain cards, like the rookie. I think this rookie class is amazing. Like they're 10 deep in this class.
I see strong contributors. I don't know if I see superstar. I see strong contributors in this draft class.
All right. So look, you got Kay Cunningham, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Scott Barnes. You got Davion, the kid out of Sacramento, Davion. You got Bones. You got Herbert from New Orleans, and the other boy from Denver. Josh Giddey, who can be an international star. Giddey can be a star.
He can play.
You got Ale, the kid from out of Chicago. He can ball. You got Jalen Shrugs, who can ball. That's a young team. I just think that there's so many players that was in this draft. Then you got the two kids. You got Kuminga and you got Moody from Golden State.
Kuminga is no joke. Moody is no joke.
And then we got to revisit Wiseman, because Wiseman is going to come back. Golden State they're going to go on a little run here. They're going to go on a little run.
Oh, we're going to get into that. They're about to go on. I think their next 2, 3, 4 final run.
Yeah, I think they could get 3. If they get this one, I think they can get 3.
Yep, I agree.
But they have to keep. And I as much as we talk about Wiggins, Wiggins is playing really well.
Very well.
But they have to be able to keep both. They have to keep Poole. If they can't keep Poole, I don't. They'll be able to keep the thing going. Because what I see, I don't think Clay is ever coming back. I think Clay is.
I've heard those takes. I think it's real early saying that. Think about, we didn't see. When did we see Kevin Durant? How long was it after he tore his Achilles, man?
Yeah,
he didn't tear his knee up. So I think Clay right now is still a work in progress. His body probably doesn't even feel right some days, but he's still out there balling.
No. And when I say I don't think he's a bum. I think he's gonna go to maybe off the bench, like 16th game off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the transition that's going to happen because, to be honest with you, Clay and Steph, they don't blow by people at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the thing with Poole,
but you do know Steph has been driving more though.
He's driving, but it's still like that boy. What's the boy from Boston? With the headband.
From Boston, headband.
White.
Oh, White. Yeah.
Hey, I'm impressed by him.
Hey, I'm impressed by him, but I thought in game 2, I saw if you put a hand in his face and get up and let him feel you a little bit, he's a different White.
Yeah, but he played defense. Like I like him as a player. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yep. I'm more or less looking. I'm looking at these guys because now when I watch the games, I'm prospecting. Like I never used to really do that.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, so I'm prospecting. So I'm looking.
Like I don't think Poole's going anywhere though. They're not letting Poole get out of that building.
I think his value fell from where I thought it was going to be. I thought he was going to wind up like pulling like a super max, like a max contract.
Yep.
I think they're going to have to pay him $100 million for 4 years. They're not going to be able to keep him and Wiggins unless Wiggins is willing to take a pay cut. Like
I think for them to keep it going, a few people might have to take a pay cut.
Like I said, I don't think they do it in basketball where, like, I think Steph would have to rip up his contract.
But when when is Clay's next contract? When is his contract up?
I think didn't they pay him after he tore the first injury?
You're right.
So I think he has 2 or 3 years left.
Yeah, that's the person I was going for. He may have to. Yeah, you're right. And you know, Wiggins. James Wiseman is the 5th highest paid player on that team at $9 million a year.
He make $9 million.
He makes $9 million, sir. I saw a stat on this the other day.
They're gonna have to pay him too.
Yep.
Play yet.
Yep.
So that's pretty interesting how they work. If they're able to get for the cheap, if he's like, hey, he's injury prone, he take the money, like do a Scottie Pippen deal. But if he tests the market, I think that kid's gonna be good. And look, and Looney, they're gonna have to pay Looney. Like I never thought that I would say that. But Looney he is very good at that role. He plays defense on ball on the guards. I'm more impressed with that. The on-ball defense on the guards, as well as the offensive rebounding.
So hold on, let me say what R is saying here. I've been telling y'all Warriors will win title. Wiggins will get trophy. What trophy? Which trophy you think you're gonna get? And we'll leave next year. People gets paid. Is that the trophy? Who gets paid? Okay. But what trophy is Wiggins getting? Let us know. Because somebody else is gonna be MVP of the final.
I think he's just talking about a chip.
Yeah, that is the trophy. He does get a chip. Golden State's about to run, bro. Looney wants to stay. Yeah, wouldn't you want to stay? If I was Looney, I'm not going anywhere else.
Yeah, but I mean, so the deal is, when Wiseman is healthy, are you gonna keep Wiseman on the bench?
No, you're probably gonna start. Well, I think the smartest thing for Golden State to do will be to split the groups up into 2 different teams. So you have a point guard, you have a center on one team. You have a point guard, you have a center on another team. And when that one team sits down or they start trickling down one by one and the other team comes in, then that's their role.
But the players have to be willing to.
Oh, I think they're buying to the system.
Like Jordan Poole. So look, Jordan Poole is in a very weird situation. Jordan Poole he should have his own team. Actually, and I'm about to say this, and I kind of been trying to figure out what it's like watching Jaylen Brown and Tatum play together. It feels like OKC when Russ used to take more shots than Kevin Durant.
Yeah, you're right.
He doesn't defer. He doesn't defer at all. He shoots the ball. He shoots wild shots. He makes some of them, but he doesn't feel he's less than Tatum at all.
He doesn't.
He feels it's 1A, 1B.
But is he? Is he less than Tatum? Jaylen Brown's not the consistent. He's not the day in, day out player, man.
No, he's not. He's not.
No.
But if I'm him, I see now why they want to split them up. They need a complementary player. He's not a complementary player. He's his own player.
He's doing his own thing, especially when he's pulling these airball threes in the corner, stuff like that. He's doing his own thing.
Yeah. So that doesn't work in that situation. I think they need a complementary guard for somebody like him. Somebody who can play off instead of Looney will work in the front office. I haven't seen. I don't know that.
I don't know. But what I will say is now we're talking about Jaylen Brown. Tatum has to become more. He has to show more dog in himself. And I mean, I like Tatum. I collect Tatum, like Tatum. But there are times in the game when he's shooting jumpers. So Tatum is what, 6'9"?
Nah, he's probably 6'7", 6. They might listen at 6'9".
Okay, so let's say he's 6'7" for real. And you got Gary Payton Jr. come out on you on defense. Why are you shooting jumpers?
Man, Gary Payton Jr. a dog.
He is a dog. Now he's a dog. There is no left or right. You're not taking him off the dribble. But why are you not? You should be coming at this guy, man. Not shooting.
But you can't just shoot over him. He's a shorter guard, but he jumps really well.
But that's what I'm.
I don't know if you saw the highlight.
You can't shoot over this guy. Tatum can't shoot over Gary Payton.
Hey, I don't know if you saw it. They had he was doing his warm-ups. He warmed up like a center. He does drop step dunks. Like that's how he warms up. Like he actually does his warm up like a post player.
Oh,
I like it. I think I'm just me personally. I'm not a huge Tatum fan. I don't like he's a little stiff for me. He doesn't have that wiggle. Like Poole got wiggle.
See, we're saying the same thing now. We're saying the same thing.
Okay, so that I think
call that having an attack mode, a dogging you. No one's stopping me on this court. I don't know if Tatum has that.
Yeah, but you know it actually showed that was when Poole hit the shot at halftime. Because everybody was waving, Poole like, I'm shooting this. And he let that thing fly.
Yeah.
And he shot it like he knew he was gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? So he has that like LaMelo Ball type flow to him, like like where he thinks he's the best.
Anthony Edwards has
who shoot the free throws when him and Steph were on the court.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, but Steph is shooting like shit from the free throw line right now.
Yeah, and Poole is at 95%.
Yeah. So, but Steph's shooting the free throw.
But it was funny how he walked up like he had this and Steph was like, bruh.
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah,
that happened last game.
No, this is the first game.
Okay,
Oh yeah. Poole stepped up like he's gonna shoot that free throw, and Steph was like, "Nah, bro." They both started laughing, which was cool.
Hey, but I made a bet with in my gym. Draymond's gonna get thrown out of one of these games.
No, he's not.
Hey,
I promise you, he's not.
I tell you, he cost him a championship already.
He did.
He does too much.
But what Draymond is trying to do, because I knew you and I would get into this conversation, because I know how you get down, J. Mike. What Draymond is trying to do is be the enforcer from the 80s and 90s. He's trying to mess with you. He's throwing in some Dennis Rodman. He's throwing in some Anthony Mason. He's throwing in some Charles Oakley. He's trying to mess with you. And if you got your mind right, you're not even tripping off Draymond. He can't do anything for you. But like that shot, the three that Jaylen Brown put up, Draymond fell into him. Draymond puts his feet on top of his head, then they say he tried to pull his pants. All that is to mess with him.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, that's a little wild.
It's all to mess with him, man. And Jaylen Brown is like, what's going on out here? Like, this is not Cal Berkeley basketball, man. He's not playing that kind of basketball out here.
Man, I had like 100 tabs up. That's probably why my internet's bad.
Yeah, you got to close those tabs, J. Mike.
I'm trying to.
Let's see some comments here. Cars, Games, and Mo says they owe Clay a lot of money the next 2 years. They need to trade him to keep Poole. Or no team can stop the trio, Clay, Steph, and Poole. They cannot. Can't be stopped. Baker Boy, NBA Game 1, lowest rating in 15 years. Why do you think that is, Baker Boy? Why would that be the case? I have some ideas, but why would that be the case? When I met Jordan Poole, I told him he moves like a cat. He agreed. Jordan Poole's funny, man. Some of the stuff he says. Somebody asked him the other day, would you rather have a hot tub or a pool? And he looked and said, pool, of course. That shot was insane. That shot was crazy, man. What was he, 2 steps in past half court?
Yeah. Do you have any? You have any Jordan Pooles?
I have just a few, not a lot. That guy. I've been the one I have is raw. 2 I have is raw. That guy's a person that I've been watching to see where's his market going for a while. And I was going to go deep on Jordan Poole. So we'll see.
It's already too expensive now.
Well, you got some stuff that's on car auto and numbered that's somewhat expensive, but still attainable. Still within some reach, you know.
See, I like the stuff that's not quite like where you have to do something, like you have to figure it out, like you have to really come up, like Kenyon Martin Jr., right?
Mm-hmm.
I got like 25 of these like whatever, right? I think you have to like take shots. His stuff is so high to where you have to be right. You can't afford to be wrong on it.
That's what I'm saying. You're absolutely right. And that's why I've been waiting. That's exactly right. So, like I can't just jump out there on Jordan Poole. But he's showing himself. But Poole is 22. I did some research the other night. He'll be 23 on June 19th. He has to slow himself down. Steph talked about this last night in a post-game press conference. He has to slow himself down and let the game come. Sometimes he's trying to push. He's trying to make the game 1 or 2 steps more if he pull back a little bit. And he'll learn it over time. And then, but let me ask you this question. I've been asking this question to some people. I respect your opinion. I want to see what you think about this. Does Jordan Poole have a high probability of having a better career than Ja Morant?
No.
You don't think so? You sure about that, J. Mike? I'm talking about championships. What?
I mean, he's on like, if he wins the championship team now, he's gonna have more than what Ja ever gets.
That's just the start. And that's just the start. You got some things going on back there.
What the fuck just happened?
You got something up top that fell. You still there, J. Mike?
Did you see what happened?
Yeah, you got some stuff up top that fell. I saw it coming down.
Shit. Oh, all right, it'll be all right. Damn, I was thinking the seal. I'm like, well, I felt like I was in an earthquake right quick.
No, it's on that top shelf. I believe Jordan Poole has a high probability. People talk about Burrow and Herbert. I think Jordan Poole has a high probability of having a better long-term career than Ja Morant.
I know why you say that, because he doesn't depend on his athleticism. He'll be able to do what he's doing for a longer period of time.
Long time. He's good at the free throw line. He can shoot the 3. He has a mid-range. He can cross you over, take you straight to the cup. What weaknesses are in his game unless he produces turnovers? Those are the weaknesses in his game.
You have to do it on another team.
I think Golden State is going to evolve over time. Well, that's going to end up being his team.
So I was saying this other day to somebody. Steph Curry could play till he's 50 if he really wanted to.
And he will.
I don't think I'm doing that.
He's going to play until in his 40s. That jump is going to get him to his 40s.
His wife, I could see him looking at what happened with his father. You know what I'm saying? Like wanting to secure his family. Like, look, what he got to prove. I know for sure he's going to want more titles than LeBron.
And he's going to get them.
I think he's going to wind up with 6.
He's gonna get him.
So I think it comes down to like, so Steph could technically just be like Ray Allen for the rest of his career, or Reggie Miller.
He could. And
But
he'll definitely
will he want to do that? Will he want to do that?
We'll see. If he's rolling with his boys, right? If he still has Poole and other people around him, he might want to do that. And it's scary if he does. It's scary.
And he's shown the fact that he would sit back, take a lesser seat, but will he be willing to, just sit in the corner? Well, he moves out the basketball, so I could see him doing that, but I don't. I think Poole is doing well in his position now. At some point, someone's going to get in his head and tell him he needs his own team. Just like I think Wiggins is going for his own team.
Who's going to win his own team? Ja Morant? Who? Who's going to win his own team? You see? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, J Mike?
I hear you.
Who did you say is going to win his own team? Until J Mike is back. Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you, yeah.
Yeah, so who did you say is going to win his own team?
Wiggins?
No.
I'm telling you, he was the number 1 overall pick, and people said that they wanted him. They said he had a bad career. Man has a lifetime career average almost 20 points a game.
But he's a player that doesn't like the limelight. And he knows that. And he knows that.
Well, we'll see with the contract, what kind of contract he takes. Mm-hmm. Is he going to turn down?
He enjoys people talking to Clay, people talking to Draymond, people talking to Steph, people talking to Looney, people talking to Poole. Then somebody might come over here and talk to me.
I don't know, but you know who he actually plays like. Who you think he play? Who you think his comp is?
Wiggins.
And he shoots just like him. He plays exactly like this guy.
Who is this?
Kevin Garnett. He shoots the same shots that Garnett shoots. He shoots the same. He has the same form, same technique.
Okay.
He plays like a smaller version of Kevin Garnett.
Okay. My first thought was that he doesn't have that length, but I can see what you're saying. But he doesn't have that dog like Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, but he doesn't, but he hits that open shot. Look, just watch. Like, if you do a video, get a video side by side and have them just look at them. They look exactly alike.
He just has to have that dog every night, man. Don't forget what Kevin Garnett was doing against Paul Gasol in the finals. He was destroying him.
Yeah.
Destroying him. I mean, he made that guy look like. Please, everybody out there, go back and look at that first championship run with the Lakers versus Kobe. Was just like amazed. Like, he's breaking this guy down every which way under the sun. Swatting shots, up and unders. I mean, he was putting pivot moves on Paul Gasol that Paul Gasol had never seen.
Hey, I love Paul Gasol, actually. I
enjoy him too. I enjoy him too.
I got some really nice Paul Gasols. Actually, I had his refractor, Topps refractor PSA 10, and I sold it before the right before the pandemic for $300. They went up to 2,000. They went up to 2,500 right quick. That was one I regretted, but I got a bunch of numbered rookie cards. I really like Paul Gasol. I like that Euro game a little bit, but he wasn't too scary, but he was kind of scary. You know what I'm saying?
He was getting handled, man. And then he went back and found his courage and came back for that second run.
Hey, Kobe got it out of him, man.
Kobe got it out of him. And that's what I think of Wiggins. Wiggins has to be around some people that's going to pull that out of him. The other day, in game 1, Wiggins hit a 3. No, game 1. Wiggins hit a 3, and Iguodala met him in half court and was like, "That's what I'm talking about." Now, if you got many players coming at you, telling you that, Draymond keeps telling him we need that dog out of you. Wiggins knows, man. He doesn't want to go run a team.
So you think he's going to turn down $40 million a year?
I think he's going to find, if he goes somewhere, he will go somewhere with a dominant player on that team.
No team with a dominant player will pick him up.
But then he'll be in Golden State.
No, he's going to wind up somewhere like
Sacramento. Where's he going?
Sacramento.
No. Then he'll be Barnes.
That's actually his comp. That was kind of his comp.
Yes, he will be Barnes. But he has way more potential than Barnes. He has more athletic ability. He has a better shot. He can dunk on you. He's better than Barnes, but he plays in that box.
Yeah, I just don't see him taking less money.
Somebody's gonna take less money to be in the culture of.
It's gonna be Clay. It's gonna have to be Clay or Steph.
Oh, we'll see.
And look, and I was telling somebody the other day, Al Horford. They were like, Al Horford did a better job with Draymond Green than Draymond Green, but that was an aberration. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no way they were going to shoot like that.
You talking about game one?
Yeah.
Because Al Horford had 2 points last night.
Yeah, 2 points. Yeah.
But
also, I didn't realize Iguodala didn't dress out after. Iguodala had a really solid, good game in game one.
Yeah, I think he didn't dress out for a reason that they probably won't talk about.
Wait, you think he did something?
No, I think it's about other players. I think they gave him homage as a vet and had him start game one.
He started?
He started game one.
Oh, but he played well, though.
Yeah, he played well. But I think this is about paying him his respect. He started game one. This is about Poole and other players. You're going to see some Kuminga. You're going to see some. This is not about Iguodala.
They didn't play Kuminga. They played.
You will see him. You will see him.
Who's the European? Who's the little white guy?
Bellinelli.
Yeah, he's good.
Well, he's good because he has length. He can shoot the three, and he can block your shot.
He can handle. He can bring the ball up the court.
That's right. That's why he's out there. And that's what Kuminga will be doing. Give him some time.
Yeah, he could. I mean, Kuminga could do it. I'm curious to see that team. I think they're going to wind up having to trade because I think they may wind up trading Wiseman, though. They may.
I thought about this the last couple of days. I thought about this. Yeah, that could happen. Could happen.
So, but I don't know what they need. I mean, they
need a point guard on this.
They probably need another guard.
They need another guard. They need another ball handler.
And they also saying Gary Payton Jr. is going to probably get a nice size contract.
He should.
But where all this money coming from?
I don't know.
So they're going to be on the luxury tax for sure. So
the cool thing about their setup is they have so much young talent that pieces could leave and other pieces can develop.
Yeah, they do.
They're so deep. Warriors on 6. What you guys think? I called it at first Warriors in 6. I don't think Boston's won another game.
Yeah, it's gonna probably go 6, I think. But they should not have lost that game. They should be up 2-0. They're too lackadaisical for me. Like, they are. Like Steph, he's lazy with the ball. He turns the ball over. A lot of bad passes.
Yes.
I don't like that.
And all these skip passes, all these passes down the court, they don't end up right.
Well,
let's bring that ball over the court.
You have too many. You have people not ready to, like, you have to know the system. Like when Draymond is passing to Steph and Clay, he knows what they're going to do. He knows how they want the ball. When he's trying to make those entry passes to those other players, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. So Hero 3 says, I'm keeping Poole over Clay. Poole is having that Curry effect. Once he leaves, he would be like all those other Warriors that left. Baseman, Barnes, Dinwiddie, Russell, etc. Poole is special.
But I don't think they'll be in a position to lose Clay. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Clay he's going to have to go to the bench, though. If he can't come back on the defensive end, because
no, but people say, hold up. People say this. Clay's playing defense. Clay's having a problem with his jump shot.
Yeah,
I'm watching the game. I see him D'ing up many different people throughout the game.
It's not the same. It's different.
Yeah, but it's not his defensive end. I don't see any highlights of anybody getting around Clay and going to do something. I see Clay's hand in people's faces. I see Clay going left to right. Clay can't get that rise that he wants on his jump shot.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I think he was effective because he was a two-way player. I don't think his offense is the issue. I think if they're shooting well, nobody.
But last night he shot horrible, right?
Yeah. And
he shot 1 of 8 from the 3-point line. But you give me Clay all day. I'm still taking Clay.
I think he's going to come back, but I just think he is more positioned to go to the bench.
I say let me get through this championship, right? Put some rings on fingers, drink some champagne, put some goggles on in the locker room, drop some confetti. Let's get to this off season, see his condition, what's going on. Get me to season starts in October. Get me to January of 2023. Then we'll see what's up with Clay.
Yeah. I mean, I hope, because I like them, you know what I'm saying? But it just seems like they got the way that the team is set up. They got all those young guys, they all kind of play the same position. And I just don't think Poole is going to want to come off the bench for the rest of his life.
No, he's not going to have to. No. But he has to turn down those turnovers or he's going to be on the bench.
Yeah. We'll see.
You remember game 2 last night. Poole comes down, shoots a 3 early in the shot clock. Hits number glass, bro. Doesn't even touch the rim. Then comes down and tries to throw a pass, and there's a turnover, and Kerr sent him straight to the bench.
Well, that's how you're supposed to. That's good, though.
That's what you're supposed to do. I don't care if you're a 22-year-old superstar or not. You got to play this defense, bro, and you got to cut down on these turnovers. Or you got to sit down over here and talk to somebody and learn something.
The question I have about Poole, how much money is he eligible to make?
I don't know.
Because I know that some of it has to do with where you were drafted at. It's slotted. So
what was he?
He was a late
22 in the first round?
Huh?
I think he was 22nd in the first round.
I thought it was 28. I thought it was late first, but he won't be. I don't think he can get 180 million or nothing like that. I don't think they can do that to him. They gave Michael Porter Williams 180 million dollars. Like I'm hearing people saying they wouldn't pay Zion. I'm like, if y'all New Orleans, he gonna leave y'all. Y'all already know he don't want to play there. Y'all better give him that money because he gonna mess around and be like, I don't want to play.
You're correct. He's 28th in the first round.
Yeah.
Yep. So Baker Boy says Steve Kerr's comments. What did Steve Kerr say?
I didn't see what he said.
Does anybody know what he said? Baker Boy, let us know. I'd like to dig into that. Ja Morant is athletic, but he hangs in the air too long and will get injured. I'm going to tell y'all what I'm thinking right now. I said this early in this time with J Mike. I believe Jordan Poole has a higher probability of having a better career long term than Ja Morant. Know where you heard it first.
I mean, it could happen, but the thing is, like, Ja Morant is going to be able to sell sneakers. He can't.
Oh, that's cool. I'm talking about what's happening on that court.
Well, that's
like,
good.
He's going to be a
I watched them ask the question yesterday. They asked Charles Barkley, would you rather Robert Ory's career or your career? And he said,
what did Chuck say?
Chuck said, winning championships is cool, but I like my career.
Chuck has to say that.
But I would say that.
Chuck believes that.
Hold on. So you would rather have Robert Ory's career than over Charles Barkley's career?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Charles Barkley is
even on
top 5 power forward of all time.
Oh yeah, I know this. I know who Chuck is, and he has no bling.
He got a bunch of money.
Oh yeah. Then he tried to chase it in Houston. Doesn't work for him.
It didn't. He was too old.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there was something else I wanted to say about this. I've been selling the boxes for $20. They resell for just the box alone, empty box is $20.
Okay.
So that was the other little thing built into these little things.
Well, where are you reselling the box at? You didn't know.
eBay.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw one earlier today.
What's your eBay store? So people know. What's your eBay store?
Athletic over. Wait, J Mike Fitness. J Mike Fitness is my eBay.
Okay. Sin City, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up? What's up? LeBron. People, Sin City has been saying this. LeBron is garbage. I just want to get J Mike going.
I mean,
I wouldn't say LeBron is
yeah,
garbage.
I'm not gonna say garbage. I mean, I don't like some of the stuff he does, but the man just became a billionaire.
Yeah, I can't say he's garbage. He is number 11. He is number 11.
Hey, but you know, one thing I wanted to kind of talk about, and the thing that I kind of just realized, what's the real issue in the hobby.
Let's get into it. What you got?
I've been thinking about it, and I was thinking they got these influencers. You know, they got the products are bad, the products are expensive. You know, people lost a lot of money. But I've been going through my collection, and the more I go through my collection, the more I get not sentimental, but it brings me back to a time, right? So when you go through and you pick up like just random cards, you know, Cal Ripken rookie cards, and those feelings of having a connection with the card.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, I watch all the vlogs, I watch everybody trade cards, and it's PSA this. It's almost like someone introducing themselves by the title of their job instead of who they are as a person. So for me, I think the passion being gone is what's wrong with the hobby. Because when I watched the Jake Paul break he did with the Pokemon cards, it was disgusting watching what he did for those 10,000 packs. I got into Pokemon, and I'm gonna tie this up. I got into Pokemon because I was looking at the value. It had more cards worth over $10 per pack than anything in sports, and I could get it. So I started buying it, and I didn't have a passion for it, but I just started buying it to the point where I'm almost completed my master set of Vivid Voltage. But I didn't know that Pokemon reprints out the ass. I didn't know that the whole object of the game is for them to be nerds. I didn't understand that. Like it's basically a hobby for guys who get thrown in lockers. Like I don't want to sound like the jock thing, but the passion, since I didn't have the passion, I got burned. I bought 4,000 packs of Pokemon cards, and now some of those cards are selling for $40, $50. Rayquaza secret rares and all that stuff are selling for $40, $50. Now they're at $5 and $6. I got burned because I have no passion for it. The reason why these guys are getting burned now is because they're collecting F1. No one gives a shit about F1. No one cares about F1. No one knows about F1. No one knows about soccer. No one knows about UFC like that. There's no real passion because people are trying to find the next thing. So since that's the case, there's no actual connection to the card, to the player. The guys don't know the damn sport. That irritates me more than anything. I was talking to this kid. I work with kids for baseball. I coach baseball and all that stuff. Individual. Kid comes to me, say he plays second base. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So the way he was moving, I said, man, you kind of remind me of Robbie Alomar. He said, who? I said, Roberto Alomar. He was like, I never heard of him. I was like, what?
How old?
He was like 17. But
he doesn't know that.
But when I was a kid, I researched. I wanted to know. I had the newspaper. We used to get the newspaper every day and look up what these players did. So I asked him, said, you know who Ryan Sandberg is? He said, who? And he was wearing Chicago Cubs gear, and he said he played second base. And I started thinking, I was like, the reason why you watch guys break cards, they open cards, and the way they flick through the cards of these players, like they pronounce like legends wrong. They don't know the sport, so there's no real connection. Like I watched. But
let me ask you this though. You play baseball, right?
Yes.
A lot of people today that are in the cards, they'll play the sport.
But that goes for football. That goes for basketball.
They never played football. They never played basketball.
But at least have a connection. Know the history. Like, so I listen to the young guys, the kids who are running around flipping. Now they're into vintage. They don't know none of these players.
What they know is the names of the people that have the highest value.
They know Mickey Mantle.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they know. Mickey Mantle. They don't know nothing else. So it's like, for me, it's daunting because it's like, that's what made me sell my cards. I was working with a guy who's a sports. He's actually he works with Colin Murray actually, but at the time he did. He was a sports agent. He liked sports, but I was talking to him about cards and he was just not into it. And I was saying to myself, he was 30 years old. He was the demographic of the people who should have been carrying on the hobby thing. But his disinterest in it kind of turned me off. I said, you know what? This stuff's not going to be worth anything because these people do not have a passion for the collectability of it or the want to have these things. Like for me, I got back into the hobby or got back into the community or the situation back in 2010, 2011, when the NFL did the 100 greatest players in the history of the NFL. I saw it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a card for each one of the players. I said just a card. And I'm going to put it on make a display. That's what the whole thing was. At first, this whole wall was a display at one point. But I started buying the cards and trying to figure out the players. And I said, well, let me start with the worst players of the 100. But that obviously doesn't work because Joe Namath is the 100th player. And he has one of the most expensive football cards of all time. So you start realizing, like, the Red Grange is going to be a hard card. Charles Hirsch, Crazy Legs Hirsch is going to be a hard card. Jim Thorpe is going to be a hard card. So you start getting into this, and I got immersed into the 1955 All-American set, the football All-American set. But it's because I got into it. Like, so for me, it has to become something more than just how much it's worth. It has to become a passion. That's why I say I have no hobbies, only obsessions. Because if I do something, I always want to make sure I cross my T's and dot my I's because I want to be knowledgeable. When someone talks to me, so I keep bringing this hoops thing back up, but the cards in here, those yellow cards, I put together that set. Like, I wanted to put together that set. I opened up all the packs. I opened up 1,300 packs of hoops. You know how many Zions I got?
1.
0. I broke down and bought it.
That's a chase card. Yeah.
But it shouldn't have been. Now I wanted to buy it for $2, but it shows me that that's a rare card because the case study showed me like Jalen Green card is not plentiful. So I'm doing the market research to say, you know what, that's not a bad investment. Then I went and thought again. In the hoops version of that particular set, you get a guaranteed rookie card in every single pack. The Donruss one, you don't guarantee a rookie card. So I went through 48 packs this morning, only got 2 regular rated rookies. With the hoops, you get much more. So that made me think, oh, the Donruss is more expensive. The Donruss is a better save for down the road. But these are things you have to put yourself into. Also, people are downplaying base cards. I just thought about this the other day. Base cards are trash. And I thought about it. I was trying to buy a Zion Williams Prism PSA 10. That's still a $200 plus card. When in the hell a $200 card was trash? A $200 card is a solid card.
Well, I take trash. When I hear someone say base is trash, I take it as base is not what it was in 2020.
But that's not what they're saying. They have people believing like,
but you got people that have come into the hobby, that came into the hobby during the boom. So they was using base for a particular reason. They use base to move base, make money, but you can't do that anymore. So under that rationale, base was trash. We came in base. That's all you had. Like the Jordan card. People talk about stuff. The Jordan 86 Fleer is a base card.
Yeah.
That's what we grew up on, J. Mike. So when somebody says that, I feel something back here in the back of my neck. Like, what are you talking about? This is the core of the hobby. If you got a child that's walking a show, when we go out, we see children all the time, right? They have base cards graded. That's how they're trying to make that move. So that child, that kid who's introduced to the hobby and have their Apache case walking around and they're trying to make moves, that whole case is trash. But it's about, where did you come into the hobby at? We didn't come into that.
But see, I get that, but it's coming from people who have no knowledge of the hobby or the community. So it's like I take offense to it, to where you're telling me about stuff that happened 2017 and up. You have no knowledge beforehand. You're gonna be gone once this shit is over.
If you're not already gone,
they're gonna be gone. So it's like I hate when people like the same. All right, so also the same thing happened in sneakers. I have a crazy sneaker collection. That's how I got all these cards. I had sneakers. Once anytime these companies start trying to eat into the second and third market, the product always becomes less desirable. I understand people like, hey, they got to get their money. You have to let them eat and then deal with everything else. If you look at all the stuff that's happening right now with Fanatics and how they've been moving with the lottery system, the way they're setting it up, I heard that 50% of the places that had tops lost their allocations. You're going to have more direct to customer relationships. You're going to have subscriptions where the people who are the regular customers are going to be able to have subscriptions with Fanatics. If they do this, it's going to eliminate an element of, to me, it's good, but it also is going to work bad because people are not going to have the desire to want to have that product because they can already get it. The thing is that no one wants the girl that everybody has. Everybody wants something that's exclusive. Now, if you try to eliminate that element of it, it'll hurt it. Like, you need the flippers and stuff. Like I said, I hated the flippers. I was like, they don't even care about the card. They don't know about the cards. Then I thought about it. They are the person that gets the card to the collector.
Speak on it.
And me, I was like I said if Card Collector 2 came to my booth, I would tell him I'm not selling to him. I love your content, but I'm not selling to you. I'm not about to Roth. I like watching his stuff. I would never sell to that guy. He's a junior collector too. And not in a bad way. It's like you could tell that he's learned from watching him. Like he tell a guy, he was like, yeah, man, I don't want to beat you up too much on this, but I'll give you 70% of comp. And these people they're selling the cards to him. And I thought about it. I was like, my cards are for the end collector. My cards aren't for the person who's trying to sell after they get it from me. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to, like, if I tell you, hey, those two cards, I tell you $100. You say, you can't do 75. I'm like, nah, I'm firm on 100. Then what you do is you go and pick out a card that costs $50 and say, hey, can you do that for 120? And I'm like,
oh, you talking about like a combo deal?
That's how they do it. They just keep adding a card. Yeah. I'm not letting you do that.
I know the game. Yeah.
My cards are not for that guy. Like, and I realized that I have a Nolan Ryan. I have a 1971, the black card, the black Nolan Ryan 71 card. It's in really good condition. It's probably a 7. That card is $2,500. I didn't know that because also I have the Munson, the Herman Munson card. I have the rookie card that's a gray card, but his second card is more expensive because it's a black border card. I'm not gonna let you come up to me and tell me about some damn comp. I'm like, well, go buy that card then. You're not getting mine. I hate that it's like these things mean nothing. Like I said, I remember wanting the 86 Canseco. I remember the Bo Jackson Topps traded card. I remember the 85 McGuire. All these things, and these people who are collecting now will never experience that. They're gonna
let me ask this question now. Let me ask this question because I've asked this question to some people. I want to get your take. How do you bridge the gap between our generation and the generation that's after us? When you talk about knowledge level, knowing the sport, love of the game, love the cards, respect the cars, know your history, how you bridge that gap?
The only way that happens is if the market keeps retracing. Because if like what you're seeing now, people circling the block, vintage, that's all you're hearing. With that being the case, you have people, these guys are looking up, they're looking up the last sale. They're not looking up their last 10 seasons. They don't know why Roberto Clemente was so beloved. They don't know why Nolan Ryan, they look at Nolan Ryan's record, he was a 500 pitcher. They don't know he was on some of the worst teams. You know, like they don't have the knowledge. So what's going to happen is, and you're seeing now, these old guys who have these vintage cars are spanking these young dudes. They selling them trim cars. They selling them fakes. They selling them all kinds of stuff because these kids don't know, and they're just going there with money. They're bombing these people, and the old guys not even off the price because all they want to do is take the car and grade the car and flip the car. Because I watched
but I still don't know. I still don't know how to get from, and I've thought about this a lot. How do you get from, and things may just change. We have to embrace that. How do you get from our generation, stuff you're talking about is stuff that I do, right? It's a thing I get into certain things. I want to learn the nuances. I want to know 100%. I'm not a lukewarm person. I'm either I'm on it or I'm off of it. Anybody here knows that. They'll tell me that. My friends that I've known for a long time, they'll tell me that. This is how I'm built. But how do you bridge the gap from talking about who is really Roberto Clemente? Why is Emmitt Smith not the greatest running back of all time? Just all this stuff. How do these 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 17, 16-year-olds, how do they get into that? I don't know if they do. I don't know if
they may not. What I was getting at is if they get burned enough, that may put them in the mindset to want to do a little research to find out what's really going on. Like a Pittsburgh Steelers fan is a different fan than a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. Like,
but think about the modern basketball market, right? There's some modern players' cars that are worth way more than some of these top 75 guys. And that's because I think the average person that's selling cars, I'm gonna use the word average.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about, and when I say average, I'm talking about how much they do research, what are they looking at? Do they get into the nuances of what's going on here in the world of sports and how it translates to cars? So that's what I mean when I say average. I want anybody out there to know that. The average person is looking at what's on their TV right now. What is Ja Morant doing? Like, I talk to people about old point guards. They don't know who I'm talking about. But they know Ja Morant.
Yeah.
And they know Jordan Poole. And those are the car prices that, like, I just saw on eBay the other day. There was a Jordan Poole Flawless for $10,999. Now I could pull a lot of top 75. That car's not that expensive. The person today that's really collecting cars is looking at what's on their TV. And that's why I believe you have these people who, the Anthony Davises of the world, maybe even Damian Lillard, that are in the top 75. And people could say they shouldn't be there because it's about what are you watching right now. When that game comes on ESPN, can we say there's 3 top 75 people on the court? Or are we going to say none and only put in players on the list that played 15 years ago?
That's kind of a speaking of that.
Nobody knows who he is.
This is a beautiful card.
I at least talk about what's on sale. No one knows who he is.
That's a beautiful card, but
it is a great card.
I said that I said that in the video I made. What's going to happen is that you're going to have to let those kids go. It won't be. That won't be your cards. That won't be your market. It's going to be people retracing, the people who really want to get those real cards. I saw a kid was talking about Joe Montana. He was like, "Yeah, Joe Montana, he's a good player, but I want to go. I want to." No, he didn't say what's the other kid? Not Mahomes, but the other kid in Buffalo, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
He said, "I want to go. I want Josh Allen." I was like, "Wait, what?"
You do know GOAT is a very loose term.
Oh, 100%. I'm gonna go too. So I understand it. You know what I'm saying? But I just he said Joe Montana and was like he was just like a regular player, and I'm like he was the GOAT before Brady became the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know that. But that's fine. That means that the Joe Montana is going to be available. You know what I'm saying, to people who really want to collect. I like looking at, like, I listen to Jeff Wilson. He doesn't like vintage. He doesn't like old cards. He only likes the new stuff. And I'm like, that's a turnoff.
But there's a lot more people making that statement. They're either making that statement by their buying habits or they're making that statement verbally. People, you go to a show and watch what people are buying. And then you'll walk up and see a gem. I saw I think a 78 Dr. J All-Star card. This is one of those large cards.
Yeah.
PSA 8, I think for $400. Man. That's crazy. I was about to buy. I mean, I was just there for one thing. I'm standing in front of this table. Like, I cannot believe this. This is the stuff I'm talking about. So if you like vintage or you like older players or you like that story behind, yeah, you're going to go into a show and probably find a lot of gems. A lot of stuff that people just walking by because they're like, man, is that a Jordan Poole rookie?
Mm-hmm. See, I like probably broke a PSA.
Okay, Kevin
McHale rookie.
81 tops. Yep.
And I have a few of them, but see, I like you. All right, so I try to collect players that if you can't tell the story of that sport without them, I don't want them. So you can't tell the story about the NBA without talking about Kevin McHale and the Celtics. You have to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think that side of it, and what I think what everyone is doing is prospecting to flip it. It's not like you're thinking like this is my all-time PC. You're thinking like, how much is it going to sell for? And I think that's for them. I'm not into that. I want cards that mean something. I want stuff that resonates with me when I tell my story of how I hit a home run my first college at bat. And I remember hearing stories of Bo Jackson doing the same. You know what I'm saying? These things that when I tell my story, they actually go along with it. But me talking about 2017 is just like, I just can't do it. It's just like, it's whatever. Y'all got
a lot of people only really look at what they've seen since they've been born.
You said they don't PC?
They only look at the sport or the cars after they were born. A lot of people.
Greatest card of all, my favorite card.
Now, when we were kids, right? When we were young, that was a difficult card to get. Definitely in a decent condition. That's the word we used back in the day. That was the card. I could never get that card, man. And when I was young, I could never afford that card.
The card was $100. It was $300 in 1989 or something, like when he went 40-40.
I could not afford. I remember I was in my Beckett looking. That was $300 and I couldn't afford it. Remember the McGuire Olympic card tops?
Yeah.
Couldn't afford that. I pulled some out of packs. They were all off center. I couldn't afford the one that was really worth money. Yeah. The McGuire wood grain.
87.
I couldn't. I pulled some of those out of packs. Still off center. Some of them had some gum stains on them. I couldn't afford really the card that was in good condition. And all those cards now, not even worth that.
But I probably have about 150 of them McGuire. But you know what I don't have? I don't have 150 of it in Tiffany.
Yep.
So I can go and I have the Canseco and Tiffany. I have the Bo Jackson Tiffany. So for me, that's the kind of time I'm on. I'd much rather do that. And I think at some point, as the market keeps retracting, it's going to force people to have to put respect on what came before. The 1980, like I have every top set of baseball all the way up to 1990. I have 79, 78, all the way up. But I also got all the Donruss sets from 81 on up. I have all the Donruss. Whatever Donruss first year was, I have all of them. I'm going to start breaking down those sets. I'm going to start doing videos on it, breaking down, like pulling out the cards, showing the cards, just going through the sets so people can understand, like Like, cause I keep saying, the passion part is the part that just kind of.
But you know what's funny though? We don't even have to go back to when we were children, right? When I look at from when LeBron started, because I always look at collecting as like before LeBron and after LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about Vin Baker, you talk about Alonzo Mourning. I could just start naming some players that most people today don't even know who they are. Don't even know who they are. But they can talk about LeBron, right?
Well, Vin Baker's that's 94.
Vin Baker was a baller, man.
Oh, he a very great
a baller.
Vin Baker, big dog Glenn Davis.
That's right.
Grant Hill, Penny.
Yep.
They are, but I just for me, everything I do, I research. Like for Poole, like I said, I played Poole at a very high level. I studied Earl Strickland. That was the guy that I studied. His personality, the way he hit balls. Now, people say Efren Reyes was a better player than him. But for me, I wanted to be like Earl Strickland. So I studied his game. I watched all his stuff. So I collect the same way. So if I get into a player or get into somebody, I really do the research. I just hate like people buying that like F1, like they talk about F1 and they don't really like that. Like it's not even real. It feels very forced, and I don't like
somebody one day. F1 cars have been out since the 70s, 1970. First F1, I think 70, 71.
And when they get burned, and when that one burns up, oh, I'm gonna throw a second line like I'm back home in New Orleans. Cause there ain't no way you're paying $100,000 for a dude sitting outside his goddamn car. Are you serious?
But you know, now car prices have a level of hype. There's a level of hype to them. Think about how LaMelo Ball cars have come down. LaMelo Ball, fresh out of a pack, Prism base was $1,500, ungraded. The first 2-3 weeks out.
You talking about the silver? The silver?
No, sir. This was base. Yeah.
Well, when I
was standing in the store, I was standing in an LCS. This was the first week he came out. People were ripping. That car was $1,500, man.
Actually, you're right about that. And the reason why I know that is because by the time I pulled mine, it was $300.
There you go.
And the LeBron base was $150.
Yeah, him doing the Kobe dunk.
Yeah. And now it's like $20.
Thank you. So there's a level of hype that's there. And when that guy pulled the card out, I told him you should sell that right now, because you're never gonna see that value on that card again.
Well, the biggest one that did that was the Mac Jones Donruss base.
That card went crazy.
And it's crazy. I have sets of I have like a couple of factory sets of it. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna keep it in there. I should have most definitely got them things graded.
Let that thing fly, man.
Yeah, but
that's the hype of the cards now. You know when they come, like right now, the football prisoners came out. You see what these cards are selling for?
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
These Muse cards.
Wait,
I think they're called the ones with the artwork on them of the player. Aren't they called Muse?
No, I thought they're called the color blast.
Okay, whatever they're called. Brady is $15,000.
Oh, there's a card. They break out. It's SVL cards. It's Chuck and another guy. It's two guys. They open cards all the time. I watched an old video. He pulled a Brady gold, and I didn't realize it sold for $55,000. He said, so I tell him, I said, tell me you didn't sell that card. He said, I sold it. I was like, please tell me how much. He said $1,500. He said, I had no idea that stuff was that expensive. He said, when I got offered the money, I just took it. But what's the real value of that stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is the manga. That's what it is.
Manga? I haven't seen
manga. This car is listed at 25 G's.
Oh, wow.
Now, we all know that's the list price. I can list anything at what I want to.
Wow.
The Brady, I think was right here, is listed at 15,000. Yeah, these cars just came out, I think, last week.
Should I get one of them? I might drive to PSA.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think? Let's talk about this right now. What do you think of the logo man, LeBron, that just got graded as authentic? You see this?
Wait, the one that just got pulled?
Yeah, they just graded it as authentic. It's in an auction now.
I can see that. I can see that. That makes sense.
Let me pull a picture up. But why was it graded authentic, man?
Because it probably wouldn't have graded well. So I wouldn't want a 7.
That's what I thought. Maybe have a print mark on it or have something going on.
I wouldn't want a 7 on a card like that.
Does it diminish the value? It's a 1-to-1.
It does.
The eye appeal?
Yeah. I think it'll mess with you. Like, it could be a clean card. Like, I've seen cards that look perfect on the front, but the back got a smudge on it. It got an 8.
This right here.
That number.
Authentic.
What they got listed at?
It's on auction. I don't even know what it's on. Golden auction. I don't know what the price is right now.
Because they're saying that it's going to be $5 million. I wonder who's going to buy it.
J. Mike, if you had that card, what would you do with it?
I would sell it.
I think that's what I would do too. And I don't even sell stuff. I think I would sell it.
I ain't gonna lie to you. It's hard for me to sell cards. Like I rarely sell. That's why I lose so much sometimes because I'm trying to learn how to. I'm learning
from the benches on point. I think that's what this may come down to. Grading fee would be wild on that card. Authenticating it as just being real, much cheaper.
So I wonder how do they do that?
Probably hand it off. I'm sure they have a representative. They have a consultant from PSA. They hand that card off, get that card right back.
No, I mean, how do they actually do the fee? Is it a cap? I think it's a cap.
Is it? See if we can do some quick research. If anybody out there knows, let us know. What would the price be to authenticate a card? Let's see, ticket authentication. Yeah, I have to do some research on this.
God damn it.
It's Sin City. Do you know what's the price to authenticate a card instead of grading the card? It's capped at $10.
Oh.
Anything over $250. So that's the answer.
Do you have any of these?
No. I've been looking at that Hummer card though. Graded for LeBron.
So you know starting lines come back in September.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm just trying to get the information if they're gonna. I think that's gonna push some cards because Fanatics, they're gonna have tops and they're gonna have well, no, it's not. It won't matter. It won't matter because if they once they get the licensing, they can start putting the real cards in there. That's why I'm waiting on to see if any of this stuff really jump. But that card, that's a clean card. But I should have bought. I had a guy had that whole case, and he sent me one and it was messed up. And he said, "Man, I got a whole case of them." He had like 100 of them. And I could have bought them.
Nice card. You got the die cut variation. You got a few of them. But
so I blew that one.
Cornelius, everybody chancing. Whatever people think is good to be iconic. These kids don't have great memories of sports figures like we did. This is true. There's not a lot meaning behind some of the card investor stuff. That's right.
So like this is always gonna mean something. Like that photo. You can't.
That's great, man. You got a PSA 8 in that? That's great.
Like that pit, like it. Like it could be back here. I know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
But this is I just want stuff that means something. That's the only thing. I mean, make your money. Have like I watched Jeff Wilson. He traded with a kid who was like 15 years old, had like $1 million worth of cards. The kid did a bad deal. I think it was a bad deal. But watching the kid have these cards, and he had like Mickey Mantle. Ricky Henderson rookies. He had a great variety, but I was wondering. I was like, I wonder if he knows anything about the player. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is just that. I'm more impressed. Like Ryan breakout cards, super impressed by that kid. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows the frauds, but he knows the players. He knows the story. Like I watched the whole thing with the great curator talk like how he saved the non-sport card market. Like I was rocking with it because he said something that kind of not touched me, but he said he's telling the story about the card, and that's what made the card worth so much. That to me is bull. That you ran a bunch of game and sold the card up, and now you're using it like as a platform booster. But I do agree the fact that when you have a big card, it does bring attention to what you have going on. So there is value in that. But when you're selling stuff, or you realize that you have the ability to turn the way people feel about something, and then you start selling it, I can see how people jump out their face to say that you're doing what they call it, pumping and dumping and all that kind of weird stuff. I'm more or less like, I want to hear the story. I want you to tell me about, like, my grandfather was telling me about Hank Aaron and such and such, and that's how I got into collecting these Hank Aarons. I like those type of stories, not you telling me these whimsical stories about the Curacao card. And I'm not buying no damn Star Wars. Star Wars for nerds. I'm not buying that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. I'm not going to let someone push me in that direction. If that's what you want to do, collect it. But don't let someone influence you or make you feel like that's what you should be doing. Like, that to me is just whack. Like, collect the stuff you want to collect. Like, if I was still, I don't collect Jose Canseco like I used to, but I love that guy. When he got traded in 1992, I cried like a little girl. He got traded to the Rangers. I was devastated as a collector, a kid, all that stuff.
Yeah,
I want that type of passion.
He was Dennis Rodman in baseball. They did the exact same things. I've done much research on both of these guys. Dated the same people. He's a Dennis Rodman of baseball. Said what he wanted to say, didn't give a damn about what somebody thought about it.
Yeah, but he was so good, man. First man go 40-40.
Yeah.
He could hit the baseball further than anybody ever.
He was a crazy outfielder.
Yeah, but look, early in his career, he was a decent outfielder. But after the ball got bounced off his head, it was a joke. But he had a cannon for an arm. Mm-hmm. He was 250 pounds. He's riding Ferraris, messing with Madonna. Like, he was the guy. You know what I'm saying? I love that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So we got Feed the Gods. I'm 27 right now. I didn't know you were 27, sir. Good to know. Born in 1985. Outside of Kobe, LeBron, KD, and Trout, who else is really a great player in my generation? First that comes to my mind is Ken Griffey Jr. See, I think somebody else has some other stuff here. Feed the Gods. R said Jordan Poole, Trey Lance. Don't know about that, but
hey, you gambling, Trey Lance. You're pure gambling.
I don't know who was the last player that came out of the Jacksonville Jaguar organization that someone is seeking after right now.
Fred Taylor, Jimmy Smith.
If it's not Fred Taylor,
Mark Brunell, Tony Baselli.
You gotta have love for the game, bro. I'm talking about these. I'm talking about this generation. They're not going after anybody you just named. You'd have to have love for the game to know who you just named.
But we could so that's.
I think Fred Taylor is one of the greatest running backs that ever ran the football.
He's gonna get into the Hall of Fame because he's doing the media work now. Yep. He didn't speak.
That's the game that people have to learn. These podcasts, man, these podcasts are just not so we can kick back. I'm an ex-player. I'm borderline Hall of Fame right now. I'm having these podcasts so I can get in this hall.
100%. But that's how it worked though. Randy Moss took advantage of it the most. He should not have been. If T.O. wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer, he shouldn't have been a first ballot Hall of Famer.
T.O. didn't play the game. T.O. wouldn't play the game.
T.O. couldn't play the game.
When T.O. was on Undisputed a few times, he was pretty decent.
T.O. is too emotional. T.O. damn near cries in every
You
interview.
do have a point. That's my quarterback.
So, and look, that's T.O. is my guy. Like, that's my guy. Like, that's my spirit animal. Like, him being who he was helped me come up as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was around, like, he's a little older than me, but seeing a dark-skinned black male with that type of confidence, I needed to see
Chattanooga.
Who?
Chattanooga.
Yeah, Tennessee Chattanooga, yeah.
So we got some Star Wars. Hold on, man. We got some Star Wars people in here who's like, hey, what's up? Stop. Star Wars is dope. And then Sin City says, J Mike, we all have a little nerd in us.
Oh, no. What? We got a lot of nerd in us. What you talking about? But I'm saying I wasn't getting thrown in lockers and shit. You know what I'm saying? I was getting a nerd out of the locker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's different.
We also got some great creative people in here who's saying, see what happens when you talk about the great creator? And then Feed the Gods, I think, made a comment. It's awesome that you bring up the great creator. He's such a good guy and a good friend.
Oh, I bet. Look, and I like him. I think he's full of shit sometimes, but I like him. I like what I'm saying is there's good in everybody. I just don't like when people are playing the game. Like, look, the whole positive thing, I get it. But we have to be realistic. And like I said, I actually defended him in the video I made because if I'm buying something, like I said, my hoops, I bought $2,000 worth of this stuff. Of course, I want this to work out. Of course, I want it not to be a bad buy. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, I don't look as knowledgeable if I'm saying, hey, this is what I did with my money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk it up to where at least it's going to make me feel better about myself knowing that I spent $2,000 for 99-cent cards. You know what I'm saying? So we all do that, but don't position it in a way where if someone thinks different, you kind of roll on them a little bit. The one thing I do believe, you can't go to another person's platform and tell them how they should do things. Like, I don't think you should do that. Like, you can't, I'm not going to let you on my platform and talk trash about me. I'm never going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So
I've asked myself before if I would be open to someone coming on. This would be like, you remember LL had a few rap songs where he had some guys on the song trying to rap. Yeah. I think I'll be game for it.
No, I'm talking about if I'm doing if I have a video, you're in my comments, questioning me, telling me, badgering me. I'm not gonna let you do that to me. One, you're not gonna do that to me because if you saw me in person, you'll run on the other side of the street. So that's the first one. I'm not letting no. Once again, I'm not trying to be nerd beating up, but whenever have the who dictates what's cool? It's never been the nerd. No one does that. And I'm not saying that like when you look at certain people who are in position in this community, these are people who would not be cool outside of this. These are people who look like they don't bathe. They just look like they sit there and look at their computers.
Art asks a good question here. What is the meaning of all this positive, negative stuff? I'm trying to figure it out.
They're trying to protect their investments.
But let me say this though. So when I first started rolling with FD, people would leave comments and tell me, "You're too positive, and you don't talk enough about the negative stuff that's happening in the hobby." And so I always talk about what I actually do. Right? That's what I do. So when you watch an episode, or you hear us here talking, or you hear us talking about sports, I'm pulling from what I know, of what I've done, or what I am doing. Like, I could come on here and have a whole conversation about what this person over here making content is doing, right? That's not what I do. I know I'm knowledgeable of almost everything that's happening in the hobby at a given point in time, from a card that's on the table to some content that just came out. But I'm not here. I don't feel like I'm here to give. That's just not this channel, people. There are other channels out here that will go in deep, that will have 15 episodes really talking about the same thing over and over and over again. So I asked the question. If that's what that person wants to do, I applaud them. But rolling with FD, you're going to hear something from me, and then I'm going to keep it moving because that's what I actually do.
So this would be I think this is a good opportunity. I think this is something I would see. I'm not saying that you should be negative. I think the pro and con is one thing. But if I just spent $3,000 on a Kobe card, I'm not about to put no jinx on my card, talking about the market's crashing after I just spent $3,000. You damn right I'm about to be positive. Now, I say that to say you paid over what you probably could have gotten a different card a little bit cheaper. But you paid more for it.
What you talking about, me personally or someone else?
You, because of the subgrades, right?
What card was that?
The Kobe, the EX.
Yeah, I paid a little bit over because of the subgrade.
So that is not negative. It's explaining your process.
But I even said that in the video.
But that's what I'm saying. You do it.
Oh,
you do it. So for me, I wouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
But listening to you, that showed me that you're a collector.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, and also I said that about the personal finance dad. I said I would never collect like him because he buys some stuff that's never gonna make money. But I thought about
that's what he loves. Yeah.
He's a true collector.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the one trend that I don't like about the community is that people are just making a video about what another person made a video on, and they do it. It's like 3 or 4 people. They all do the same video. Like, yeah, I just referenced my friend such and such. Then I did a video. Then another person references that person. I'm just like, that's trash. But I appreciate the people who are buying what they like.
So Feed the Gods makes a great comment here to me. I would rather have an honest, calm, and collected conversation about either one of you and disagree with you. Doesn't mean I'll disrespect either one of you. I'll love different points of views from me. This is me.
Oh yeah.
This is me, right? We could get on and talk. I could bring Feed the Guys on here right now. We may talk about some stuff that we're like, yep, we agree on that. We may talk about other things where we're like, nah, I don't agree on that at all. But I love hearing the different conversations from people and the different points of view, and I respect them for telling me what they think. I'm not going to trash and just throw him under the bus and then have this, that, and the other about Feed the Guys and what he said. That's just me, though, right? I'm just telling you about me. So I think now I get less of that. I think people know where I'm coming from, a little bit more about me. But it just got me when we were probably at 200 subscribers. We were here all the time. Well, why aren't you talking about PSA and what they're doing? And why aren't you talking about? Because the way I think, right, when it comes to a PSA price, this is just one example. Either I'm going to hold my cards, wait for the price to drop, or I'm going to pay it right now and get my card back.
Yeah.
I can't go into a McDonald's and be like, so why is the Big Mac X dollars? Why is the milkshake X dollars? That's what it is. I could either do business today, or I could walk away and say, I'm going to go do something else with my dollars. Like buy more cars.
Yeah.
That's just me, man. It's just that simple to me. There are some things I hear people talking about and tiresome. Like they're just talking about it. Like, okay, what else are we doing?
Well, see, that's how I felt about Raul. I like him, but he keeps saying the same thing over and over again with no solution. Like, I'm like, look, yes, these people are pumping and dumping. Okay, now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, like, let's move on from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave the hanky-panky. Like, I get it. Make some shirts, sell the shirts, and then move to another topic. But I originally started following him and liking him. I like mentioning names. I originally started following him because he was doing the little quirky autographs. Like, I got this postcard signed by such and such. I paid $10 for it. I'm into that type of stuff. Like, that to me is collecting. That to me is refreshing. But when it's like a constant thing about the same thing over and over again, it kind of makes me like, but I like the conversation. I like the conversation. I like the discussions. I like the interest. Like I was talking when I was talking about the passion. The Logan Paul or the Logan Paul break. He broke a box of cards, $10,000 a pack. He got to the point where they weren't even showing the cards. He literally just started skipping to the last card. That's your card. put it to the side. You could tell he didn't even want to do it. The hype then died off to where you disrespect somebody that paid $10,000 for a pack of cards. And once I saw that, I'm like, this is done. No one's going to care because the effort that he put into that particular break, you could tell the hype is gone. And that all that hype that they built up, the equity they built up into Pokemon with the excitement that they created, it's a wrap. It's done. Off of that one break, that showed me where the hype train started and where it ended. It would never get back to where it was. I watched that and I felt violated by watching that break, and I wouldn't even purchase any of those cards. But you mean to tell me I paid $10,000 for a card and you're not going to have a camera on my card? You're going to do it on Instagram? Like, and then you had like it was just disrespectful to the nth degree. That's like me getting a pack of 86 Flair, and you just you ain't getting nothing and throw the pack to the side. Like, what? You gonna show each one of these cards for $10,000 a pack? You know what I'm saying?
Well, we got Cornelius Gross here who says, FT, your videos are super dope. I appreciate you, Cornelius, because I learned something new from almost every video. You're very knowledgeable and professional. I appreciate that. I just want everybody to know that I just show, record, and put out what I'm thinking and how I actually get down day to day. Like Rolling with FT is no different than it was in some shows in San Jose in the early 2000s or stuff in Chicago. Or I remember when TriStar took a show they were trying to do some market testing, right? What about we went here? They had a show in St. Louis when I lived in St. Louis. Jim Brown was there. Had a chance to see Jim Brown, talk to him. I talked to him about Spike Lee's movie. I can't remember the name of the movie right now. She Hate Me.
She Gotta Have It?
No, She Hate Me, right? Let me look this up. Jim Brown was in the movie. He played a cop. Let me see if I can find a poster. Yeah, right here. She Hate Me.
Oh yeah. I grew up with him. And I grew up with Anthony Mackie.
Mackie, yep. So this is Anthony Mackie, people, way before Marvel.
Hey, look, I got a even better one for you. Actually, I got a Nate Archibald rookie card. But
you talking about point guard?
So look, Anthony Mackie. This is one of my funniest stories I ever had as a school teacher. I was a high school history teacher, and we had someone coming in to talk to our kids. Yeah. Georgia Tech has a very prestigious engineer program.
Yes,
and at the time, there were no African Americans that graduated from this particular program, but this one gentleman, right? His last name was Mackey, right? So he gets there, young brother. He looked familiar to me, but he said his name was Mackey. He's from New Orleans. He beat the odds, blah blah blah. And I kept saying, he was like, "Yeah, I grew up on Mirabeau Street." But he was talking about this hard upbringing that they had and had to struggle and just this and that. Anthony Mackie had a boat when we were kids. We're 10, 11 years old. We used to trade baseball cards in his boat, like when we were kids. So he's telling this story about how all he went through in his life, which is mostly made up. And so after he spoke, he said, some of y'all would know my brother. He played Papa Doc. So this is how long ago this was. So I was teaching in 2002 to 2005. So at the end
8 Mile Papa Doc, for those who don't know who that is. 8 Mile Papa Doc.
So at the end of the speech or the presentation, I go up to him. I said, "Hey man, you remember me?" Now mind you, I'm all jacked up. I'm 22, 23 years old. And he was like, "Nah." I said, we should trade cards with your brother on the boat." And he looked at me. He was like, "Hey, man, you got to embellish some of this stuff sometimes." You know what I'm saying? Basically, he told this whole story about how his family didn't have a lot. They had more than everybody else, though. You know what I'm saying? But it was just the story of it. And he wound up going to a performing arts school, high school, because we all split up. Mm-hmm. And wound up getting the role of Papa Doc. And that's what really took him off to where he is now.
Yeah, but Jim Brown was talking about, I was asking him, what was it like being in that movie? And he said, wherever Spike told me to stand and what to say, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to listen to him.
I'm gonna listen to them all day, man. But those are the things to me that are fun, right? And I think rolling with FT right now is good to put a camera with it and walk around and talk to people. And I like to showcase different people who are doing different things from all around this country. That's the fun part to me. So that's what I do. That's just one person out here, and that's what I do.
Yeah, but they want you. I always thought it was weird that they had put you in the sports car radio guy, kind of put you in bed with Mark's cards.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know where that comes. I never saw the connection.
Comes from nowhere, man. If I look in a dark corner, when I was a kid, right, I used to sit in the room and had a window right by the corner, and the light would shine through the blinds, right. And if I was sitting, look at that corner so long, I could have swore I saw something move in that corner. Then I get up and turn the light on, I realize there's nothing in that corner.
Yeah.
So person could say and do anything, talk about whatever. It is what it is. I mean, I think people that watch Rolling with FD, that actually watch Rolling with FD, they know kind of how I get down, what I do, time I spend with my kids, what's up with my family. They kind of know what I'm doing. I mean, I have a pretty busy schedule. You know, I really don't have time for a whole.
You work a 9 to 5?
Yeah, I work a job. Yeah.
What do you do for a living?
I don't really get into that, J. Mike.
Oh, okay.
I do things though. I do positive things. In the past, I've worked in sales, retail, different stuff.
Oh, okay.
But then when I get out of that, like we go hard, right? We put time in. You know, there's some late nights. We're up. People are drinking coffee.
So are you going to get more immense into the platform stuff? Like, is it going to be just content? Are you going to break? You going to
I don't know if breaking is my thing. We'll see. It could be. I took some time recently to learn a lot more about breaking, like what's going on, whatnot. I'm gonna have a breaker on soon on what's to play. We're gonna talk a little bit more in depth about breaking. This person's Cali Elite. I'm gonna have Cali Elite on to talk more about breaking. I'm a person who likes to learn everything about the hobby before I start getting into anything. We went to a show one time and set up, and we put cards on the table, and somebody sent us a comment that says, "Hey, you're disrespecting the hobby. You got to cover that table with something. You got to do this, do that, and the other." And I wrote back to them, "I'm not disrespecting anything. I've been in this hobby for a long time. I don't spend $1 on anything until I know what I'm doing. Not on anything. So if you walk past my table and you thought, man, that's comedy, man, he has cards just sitting on the table. That's cool. But I'm not spending $1 or anything in here until I actually know what am I doing. So let me set up today to learn. What is it like to price my cards, sit my cards on the table, actually get up out of my seat and engage with people, talk to people about sports, the card, and whatever else they want to talk about. That's when I'm engaged in here today.
Hold on, what did they want you to do?
Oh, they want me to put like a table skirt or a table dressing out and then put some cards out. And then they wanted me to have a case that you close for 8 cards. This is just one person's comment. But I think what struck me was when they said you're disrespecting the hobby. What is the rule book? Who wrote it? How long has that person been in the hobby? What are they doing? And I'm not talking about what are the values of their cards. What are they doing in the hobby?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. There's no box. I joke with people all the time. You look at me, right? You think football player. I've been through this whole life, man. And you know what I'm talking about. You think football player, you're probably not that smart. Then you saw, oh, damn, he can articulate himself. Man, he carries himself a certain way. Man, I can see that this guy actually got raised by somebody. And then the box opens up. Whatever box you were trying to put me in, and there are millions of people out here like this. Whatever box you try to put that person in, you'll find out that you can't put that person in a box.
Yeah.
And in this hobby, there's no box. There are people who think they can sum someone up by looking at them and go ahead and put them in a box. But I'm a box breaker, man.
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't. That doesn't apply to me. I had a teacher. I tell these stories sometimes. I had a teacher in high school. I just told this story the other day. I just transferred to a new high school. And a teacher came up to me. There was some people who thought, oh, he came out with a high GPA. Oh, he has a high ranking in school. Let me see what I can tell him to discourage him. And there are people out here like this. It could be someone, a teacher in school. It could be a classmate in school. It could be a coach. This coach / teacher came up to me and said, FD, you're not as smart as people make you out to be. It's out of nowhere, J. Mike. But I have like intestinal fortitude, right? I have a fire inside. Whatever people say to me, put in a comment or whatever, it does not affect me. It does not bother me, man. I'm driving. I'm going somewhere. It does not affect me. So I explained to him that some people have explained to me in the last 2 weeks, you're not the best coach, not the best football coach in the world. So we both got feedback for each other.
Yeah.
I was 18 years old, man.
Yeah.
That doesn't. I left that conversation, went back second class, and went on with my day. Didn't think twice about it.
That's crazy.
That's how things go. Smoothness says the first video I saw was you trading in those LeBrons for that Steph Curry card. Smoother, what did you think of that? People wasn't up on that Steph Curry back then.
Wait, what did you trade?
I went into Burbank Sports Cards with a bunch of cards that I had in storage that I had pulled in the late 90s and early 2000s.
I seen that one.
Yeah, had LeBron's in there, and that's before we got anything graded. And people thought I was crazy for doing that, but I saw a card on eBay that I wasn't gonna let slip by me, man. It was a Steph Curry card, and I thought to myself, I just came back from a storage run, and I thought to myself, I'm sitting here. I need to come up with some funds because I pay for everything that I do in cash, man. I don't put stuff on credit cards. I don't do all that. That's just me, right? Not saying about anybody else that does that. That's just not me.
Yeah.
So I said I got to come up with some funds pretty quickly here before I press the winning bid on this card. And my game plan was to sell a LeBron card that was really off center. That was probably going to be a PSA 8, something like that, to get the funds to help pay for this Curry card. And the Curry card was graded 9.5, 10 auto, pop 16 out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a time where before we pressed in on that episode, J. Mike, I sat and thought, I don't know how people are going to take this, but this is what I would really do. I don't know how people are going to take that. People going to think I'm crazy. People going to think I'm a fool. People going to think I'm a genius. I don't know. But I'm going to show people what I really do. I never thought the episode would have been as successful as it was. But that's a move that I would have made if I've never. And we came close, man. The crazy thing about this, we came close to not even filming that at the time. I was just going to make a quick run to Burbank after work, sell the card, buy the Curry, and keep it moving. Then we started talking around here. It's like, nah, you should show that story. You should tell people that that's what you're about to do. And then that's what we decided to do.
So what's the conclusion to it? What how did you make out?
Oh, the Curry card is way more than what I paid for it.
Is it how much is LeBron worth at an 8?
Oh, LeBron at an 8. Let me see if I can find it real quick on eBay. This is a good question. See if I can find it on eBay.
Because I was wondering, was it a situation where you didn't want to send the card off? It'll take a long time to get back.
Yeah, I had to make a move. The Curry card the auction had already ended. It already ended. I was a winning bidder.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it had already ended. I had to come up with the dollars to pay for that card. And I already had 65% of it or something. I had to come up with 35%.
Wait, how much was the card?
The card was $3,600.
Oh shit.
Yeah, bro. $3,600. Curry rookie, red out of 100, pop 16.
So with the seller, how many days after the sale did you pay for it?
Oh, it was within a day or two.
Okay. So
I think I purchased the car on a Thursday. If I remember this correctly. I did. I purchased the car on Thursday night. I hit Burbank on Friday night. I paid for the car Friday night. Late Friday night.
Wow, that's crazy. See, I didn't know
But J. Mike, I had done all kind of research on what card I wanted to buy. I mean, I'm talking to you, bro, about 3-4 months of research. When Golden State ended their season, this is after Curry came back, after he broke his wrist, and they didn't make the playoffs. The next day, I started doing research. And I looked at Jordan. I'm talking about stuff that I could afford, right? Yeah. I looked at Jordan. I looked at KD. I looked at James Harden. I looked at several players. And then everything pointed back to Steph Curry. Like, it was almost like I predicted what's going on right now. At least they would get to the playoffs, make a run. I didn't know who Poole was at the time. I'm gonna tell you this. I didn't really know how he would fit in. I knew he was on the team. I didn't know he was that kind of player. But I knew Clay was coming back. I knew who Draymond was. I knew they had some people on the bench. I learned about Kuminga at the time. I knew these things. I knew James Wiseman at the time. So I knew these things. But I didn't. Poole was the X factor. So then I forced myself to, after all the research pointed back to Curry, to not think about Curry. And I went and researched other players, and they still pointed back to Curry. Who could win his 4th ring, maybe 5th ring? Who has a chance to go over 20,000 points scored? Who was a unanimous MVP who could possibly win it again, who has not won a finals MVP yet? These are all the things I kept looking at. And it pointed back to Curry. Big John says, how do you do your research? There are many different things that I do. It all depends about the player or what the situation is. My biggest piece, Big John, of research is eye tests. I watch a lot of sports. I catch a lot of highlights. I also got to spend time with my family. So if I can't watch a 3-hour game, there are things out there you can watch that will give you a snapshot of everything that happened in that game.
YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Hit YouTube up, search the game out. And then there's a
10 minutes. They give you 10 minutes.
7 to 11 minutes. That's going to give you everything that happened in that game. And it's not focused on one team. So Golden State could be getting destroyed. They're going to tell you the team that was destroying them. What shots were they hitting? And I like the way they back it up, where they show you how the play started. So I'm looking at the rotation of people on the court, how the person got the ball. How did they finish the shot? Did they take the ball to the cup? Did they cross somebody over? These are all the things that's not on the stat sheet, right? You can look and say Poole had 29, but how did he score 29? Yeah. We'll let you know. Just like last year, right? I'll tell you about another person. It's not just about Steph Curry. Last year, May, I went to the first card stock trading show out here. I'm walking around. I like to walk the whole show before I buy anything. I walk up to What's King's table, and he had a Giannis card there. Giannis had just won the championship. And then he had a Jason Tatum card. Jason Tatum was a cornerstone, 9.5 BGS, autograph on card, 10 auto, 4 patches of jersey. And he had just got put out of the playoffs playing against Brooklyn. But I think he scored 50 points 2 or 3 times in that series. So my eye test, I had watched a little bit of Poole a little bit of Tatum in the regular season. But that playoff run and him getting put out by Boston and how he was taking KD at some points to the cup, shooting over him, it seemed like he had some internal fortitude again. Like he could push himself. I saw a little bit of a dog, almost saw a puppy in him. So then I said to myself, I got to start watching this guy. When I saw that card, it was about eye appeal. I looked at his card values before I went to the show, and then I made a purchase at that show. Still have that card.
So is the Curry the most expensive card you've purchased?
No, I purchased another Curry card that's a pop one that has pieces of jersey in it. Game worn is the most expensive card.
It's a rookie?
It's a rookie card.
See, I that's the other thing. If it's not a rookie card, I'm not spending no money.
Well, I'll say this. There are some cards of players that if you lost the rookie card, you didn't get in enough time and you feel like you can't afford that card, there are still some good 2nd and 3rd year cards that are have a low print run that may have either a sticker auto or auto on card that may have some game jersey pieces. That's not bad buys.
No? Oh, no, that's different. I'm talking about so that's older players. So like a 3rd year Nolan Ryan, a 3rd year Mickey Mantle. Yeah, I get that. But I'm not buying, I'm not going to spend $500 or $600 for a Mahomes twinkle little star 1 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because I separate all my cards. So I keep up with all my cards by the year. So I have so when I sort my cards, I don't care if it's Zion 3rd year, that gets put in a sleeve. Actually, I put it in a top loader too. And I do that with all of those cards because I want those cards in good shape. Now, like some of the lesser players, like somebody like let's say a Darius Garland, I'll keep his second. I'll sleeve up his second card. I'm not gonna put it in a top loader, but it get a sleeve. Everything get a sleeve. But that's kind of my thinking. You know what I'm saying? But think about it, those Tom Brady cards. Tom Brady was not Tom Brady in 2012. Manning was the better quarterback. I have so many Tom Brady cards from 2011 that if I sold them during the pandemic, I made thousands of dollars off of Topps cards of Tom Brady because I had them in good condition, because I put them in sleeves. I respected my cards early on. So all those top guys, like even Russell Wilson, I sleeve all of his cards and his parallels get a top loader because I see the future with that. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your cards. Like that's the other thing.
I got a story for you. So I opened a pack of Topps Chrome 2003. Pulled out I opened probably about 4 or 5 boxes. They were about $350 a box then. Now they're like 15,000 bucks. I pulled some LeBrons out, and I had a habit, man, just like you. I put every card in a penny sleeve and a top loader. I had those cards in storage. I'm going to do probably a reveal episode here soon. We took one card out in particular, had it graded. I'm going to let people know what grade I got. But it's all because I had a conversation with my father. And people out there who think I don't like LeBron James, you're really wrong. I'm probably one of the biggest LeBron James fans for 20-something years that anybody can be, even going back to when he was in high school. I came in the living room and I talked to my father and I said, LeBron is going to be a great player. His cards are going to be expensive. Card prices, you could get a box for $150, something like that, $175. Now cards are selling for like $350, $375, $400. This stuff may be too expensive for me. I may not do it. He turns to me and says, you think he's going to be a great player? I was like, yeah. I was like, we watched him together. He's like, yeah, I think he's going to challenge a lot of things in the NBA over time. He said, so if I was you, I would go buy boxes and try to get his cards. And I was like, well, what about the expense? He said, you got to think about the hobby, not to just today, but you got to think about it in the future. Where is this stuff going? Right? Where is it going? We're still sitting here June 6, 2022. Where's this thing going? It's going somewhere. I ask the question all the time. The Jordan card is a base card, right? Jordan's a great player. I call him the GOAT. There are players coming along that are going to have rookie, real jersey cards, especially with Fanatics. Low numbered, gold. You're going to grade them. They're going to come back good grades. Where are those cards 25 years from now? They're not going to be base cards, people. Where they at 25 years from now? So I bought a bunch of Topps Chrome, like 4 or 5 boxes, opened them up, and every one I put in a penny sleeve, man. I had that stuff in storage, J. Mike, up until last year. And the only reason I get any grade on any card out of that stuff that I open is because just like what you're talking about, I respected the cards. I put them in. If you think about what does it cost for a penny sleeve and top loader? Your time. That's really all it costs. Well, it's called penny sleeve. It's called penny sleeve for a reason. Yeah,
I sleeve up everything.
Now you're ready for
sleeve. I got 50,000 sleeves. I got 5,000 top loaders. I don't care. I rather take my chances. And also, I've been watching Cajun Cardboard. You follow him?
Let me see.
Oh, you got to follow him. Cajun Cardboard, I believe.
Let's see here. Cajun Cardboard. Nope, I'm following now. Brian Dennison.
That guy's collection is absolutely amazing. He's our age. He's a little bit older. I think he might be a little older than you as well. He has one of the best collections. I'm just
scrolling through his page.
He's the one that sold the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sticker for $200,000. I don't follow him on Instagram. I follow him on YouTube, but he has a PSA. He's collecting the 2012 Prism set in PSA 10. if you did that with those cards, you could do a set of the Topps Chrome complete set in PSA 10 or 9 or whatever, because you took care of those cards. You know what I'm saying? That's something like, that's the next level. Finding a set and appreciating the set to that, you know, that extent. You know what I'm saying? But he said he's finally getting back his cards that he sent out to PSA 2 years ago. He's getting them back now. When I tell you this man has cards,
I can believe it.
I mean, it's unreal, the stuff that the man has.
I can just see on his page that he's legit. But it's not just the dollar amount of the card. You can see the story behind the card just looking at the card.
He's a Jordan collector. He likes Penny. He's from our time, but he also is from Baton Rouge, so he's a huge Shaq fan too. But
I can see that.
his stuff, I've been watching his stuff. He's super informative, super informative. But he uses because the PSA 10 cards. There's a group of guys who are collecting that 2012 set in the PSA 10, and he had got a bunch of those back in 10s, so he trades them off to try to get the cards that he doesn't have. But
Mike, that's what I'm about to start doing.
But you should do that with that set. That's the set. How many cards in that set?
I don't know. I can do the research. I'll let you know.
But I wouldn't do it at $25, $30 a card, though. It has to get down to $10 a card.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're going to be sending 5 cards of the same one, and, you know, because you're swing and miss type thing. And did those cards green?
No, that year didn't green. 2003 doesn't. I haven't seen any of them that green. So they got that corrected from the Kobe year to that year, and Kobe's second year to that year.
Wow, that's awesome. Because you should have a couple of sets, right?
Yeah, you should have. I have all the cards. I don't get rid of cards.
You never put the sets together?
Mm-mm.
So,
you know, after 2003, man, I went to business school. My life changed. I started traveling and doing all kinds of stuff. But I was just so happy that I took the time to know who LeBron was and try to find something of him at an earlier age, instead of trying to catch up now.
But you know what people used to always tell me? I forgot who told me this when I was a kid growing up. They said the only true rookie card you have is a Topps card.
I can see that.
Your Topps base card is your true rookie card.
But the person who told you that is of another generation.
But look, you remember when the Stadium Club came out,
mm-hmm.
they have the Stadium Club card, but then they'll put their rookie card on the back of the card.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that stuck with me. So every year when the new rookie class would come out, I would always go buy a box of Topps. I did it.
Well, I used to be on Stadium Club members only stuff.
Yeah.
I used to be all over that.
So that's what made me buy the 2 boxes of Topps that I bought. And I pulled the LeBron, the Wade, the Bosch, the Melo, because I was doing that every year. So every year I would go to the store, buy a box of Topps, did it. The year I stopped doing it in 2012, which, actually it was Curry's year. Curry's year was the year because I like Curry, but I was like, and that's when you could have got a box of Topps for $40. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for nothing.
So
for nothing.
That's tough, man. But I like I said, I like that part of the collecting stuff though. Like, if you're doing it that way, I'm not gonna say the right way, but I prefer the people just to care about the cards. That's all. That's all I want. Just care about it. Have some sort of connection to it.
Thank you for letting me know about Cajun Cardboard.
Oh, it's a tunnel. You're gonna get lost on it, man. Dude he's a lawyer. He's a lawyer. He had a 1980. It's an 86 Kareem All-Star PSA 10. That card is impossible in PSA 10. He sold that card more than what the Jordan sells for. He just sold it last week. So he has some extra cash.
That pop of the PSA 10 must be very large.
I think it's one. I think it's the only one.
Sounds like single digits, yeah. Okay.
But check him out. I mean, I've been watching a lot of his stuff lately. So, but his stuff, he's super smart. He's a lawyer, and he collects like the stuff like he collects rare like inserts. He has almost, I think he's like a super Jordan collector. So he has all Jordan cards and stuff. It's cool.
Thank you for that, man.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows out there, J. Mike and I are gonna start getting together once a month, at least once a month, on Stay Ready. I'm gonna get hooked. Give me a cable. What's that called? Ether cable. Ethernet cord. You good to go, bro? Here the last 40-something hour, you've been crystal clear.
Okay. Well, I cut
you know how things go though. The more people that get off the internet, those who stay on doing stuff like what we're doing, things clear up. We started at a time that a lot of people may have still been on the internet, especially around where you live.
Oh, okay.
So that's how it works, man.
Well,
but I always appreciate having you here, bro. So Pete, you gotta tell Pete what's up. What's your channel at, man?
Oh, it's No Hobbies, Only Obsessions. You can also go to my website, athleticovereverything.com. I have apparel. I have my rookie card. I don't even, do I have any?
Tell the people,
have my rookie card.
Tell the people again. What's your channel? What's your
No Hobbies, Only Obsessions. My Instagram is Mr. Athletic Over Everything. If you go to my YouTube, you'll see why they call me Mr. Athletic Over Everything. And I collect. I do a little bit of everything.
I got one more question for you though. How many more games are the Boston Celtics gonna win?
They're gonna win another one. They'll win one more. I think it goes 6.
I originally said 6, but I really am thinking 5.
I just hate that they're so careless with the ball, man. It's like
they're very careless with the ball. I can't even.
You can't have no more games. If Horford scores 20 points, they win. You know what I'm saying?
Well, White has to score more than 15 with Horford scoring over 20.
It's Horford though.
But let me ask you this. What is who's the defensive player of the year? Smart. What is he doing?
He's not a scorer.
But Kirby was playing more defense on him than I saw him playing on anybody.
It's kind of different. His responsibility is to bring toughness. I think next game Draymond gets thrown out the game. He's
not getting thrown out the game.
I think so.
It's not happening. Draymond is tiptoeing that line.
He does way too much.
No, he really plays like the 80s and the 90s.
He does. He complains too much. Like it's bad.
So you do know no one complained more than Magic Johnson, right?
Then who?
Magic Johnson. He is the epitome of complaining about something. You do know this.
I don't remember Magic crying. Like I remember.
He was crying, bro, all the time. They made him crying emoji out after that match.
I remember. What's his damn name? Reggie Miller crying a lot.
Reggie Miller cried all the time. Yes, he was crying. He didn't foul anyone. Never fouled anyone. Hold on, I gotta pull something up here that I want you to see. Hold on one second. Hey, Mike, I gotta show you this, man. Got some highlights here of Curry playing defense, bro. Look at him. Look at him. Check him out. Smart throwing up trash. Curry knocked the ball off Williams. Keeps going, man. You know, they set the tone last night, though, when Draymond was all over Horford.
Hey, that Robert Williams being hurt, that's going to hurt them big, too.
That's going to hurt him big time, bro, because he's a nice player. Look at Curry, bro. Broke. Let's see what he does with Smart here. For all those who say Steph Curry doesn't play defense, where you at, Tatum? Where you at, bro? Yeah, that's an air ball. I remember these things.
I mean, he's not a bad. He's not a good defensive player. He's a serviceable defensive player.
J. Mike, he's handling his business, man. He's left to right, dude. He's like Jackie Robinson on third base, man.
Hey, did you hear that? You know the whole thing about what's calling that old boy Jackie Robinson?
Yeah, I know the whole story. Yeah.
What did you think that was racial?
No.
I think it was.
I think he was trying to prove a point. What?
I think he was saying like this motherfucker think he Jackie Robinson.
That's right.
Like,
that's exactly
like he was like, you really think you Jackie Robinson? It wasn't like he calling you Jackie Robinson because you black. No, you think you Jackie Robinson.
That's right. You thinking you're Jackie Robinson because what's his name again? White Sox player. What's the guy who was at I can't remember his name, but the White Sox player said in a 2019 interview that he's the next Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, yeah.
On the game, just so everybody out there knows this. And so then the opposing players decided to come up, who I really don't like. I mean, yeah, man, Donaldson. I really don't care for Donaldson. Oh, Tim Anderson. There you go. Big John always got my back. Tim Anderson said in the 2019 interview that he's the next Jackie Robinson of the game. So when Donaldson was coming up to bat, or in the field, or when that whole thing broke out at third base about him trying to push him off the base, Donaldson started calling him Jackie Robinson because of the 2019 article. Yeah. And there have been people who have said that Donaldson and other players would shout Jackie Robinson at this guy since 2019.
Yeah, but they flipped it. They flipped it on some other. I was like, I didn't take that as like a racial situation. I took that as like, you think you Jackie Robinson?
Yeah. I thought that was an interesting statement to make. I think I kind of understood the connection he was talking about bringing enthusiasm. Like when I started talking about that third base.
I thought he was saying that because there are no black players and he feels like he is like Jackie Robinson.
What I understood, he was talking about trying to bring enthusiasm to the game.
Yeah, I got to look at that again.
Yeah. I mean, the African American players in MLB are declining every year.
Yeah, 100%. So
that is the truth. Yeah, we got 10 minutes. We got like 2 more comments. Did you get the whole interview? He was talking about Jackie Robinson as to bringing fun back. See, that's what he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Enthusiasm, fun back to the game. And then, but we all got to watch though. And Big John, I think you can feel this. When you make connections to greatness, you know, you can't just sliver off 5% of greatness and use someone's name. I can't start talking about, I'm benching like J. Mike, you know, and I got like 85 pounds on the bench. It's levels. You got to work your way up to something. I think a lot of people kind of took that as like, what is this dude talking about? But
well, I made a post. One of my hashtags is I'm feeling like Brady. And I say that because Brady is about to turn 45. His birthday is like a couple of days after mine. He turns 45, and he's the best at what he's doing. I'm the best drug-tested bencher in the world. So it sounds like a weird comparison, but I said I'm feeling like. I didn't say I'm better or I'm equal to. It's just like that feeling. Well,
you're using the word feeling is very different than what Anderson said.
Oh, 100%. But I use it in a sense of like, because Brady has a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like he's accomplished all he's accomplished, but he still acts like everybody's out to get him. And I'm kind of the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always fighting for something. But I use that for more motivation. Like someone says, you're on steroids. I'm like, I post them up, put them on Instagram, let everybody see them. Another one, saying I'm on steroids when I've passed all these tests. I look the way I look because I live a healthy life. I've never done no drugs. I eat good. I live good. So it's like when people like the human body cannot do such and such, such and such. And I'm like, I'm living truth that it can do.
Hey, man, I'm just going to tell you, as a former athlete, man, I look at you. I don't even think steroids. I don't know what someone is talking about. I don't care how much weight you're putting out. The way your body looks, the way you lift. I don't even think of that. So I think people who are talking are people that are hating.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, You can't hate on greatness, man. That's one thing you cannot hate on. You know, when people talk about they don't like Golden State, okay, but can you admire the greatness that's on the court? Can you imagine 4 young guys who came together, who no one was really? I mean, Steph led college basketball in scoring, but did anybody think he's going to be who he is? Clay came out of Washington State. Can you name me the last baller that came out of Washington State? Draymond comes from Michigan. I lived in Detroit at the time. I watched him all the time in Michigan. He was not the player he is today.
Michigan State.
So no one thought, even Poole came out of Michigan. No one thought these guys are going to come together and probably have more championships than the chosen one. But this
I think if they win this championship, it validates Steph more and devalues Kevin Durant's championships.
Yes, and that's the game plan, sir. Steph said something about this before Game 1. You know, this is our time now to answer the critics of the Kevin Durant being on the team.
Yeah,
everybody knows that. They don't want to talk about it all the time, but it's time to. And now that everything turns to Kevin Durant, what are you doing?
Chilling
over here with Kyrie. What is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. That was a bad decision. I would have run that out until
it was emotional decision.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we all make emotional decisions, they don't turn out.
Trust me, I've done it all the time. I've done it a couple times. I've had some sponsorships, and I knew that if I said something, I was going to lose that sponsorship. But at the moment, I'm going to tell you how I feel, and I dealt with the consequences. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But that's
all right.
But look, I got to go.
What's up, fellas? If you're able to sit down with the GOAT from every major sport and have a conversation, who would it be and why? Michael Jeffrey Jordan. That's our last one. Who you got? What GOAT would you sit down with, have a conversation with?
Jay-Z.
There we go. I know how J. Mike feels about Jay-Z as a rapper.
I love Jay. That's my Oprah. But I mean, I'm a Jordan guy too. But
I know you are. Yeah, I know you are.
But if Kobe was here, if Kobe was still here, I would want to talk to Kobe.
Kobe would be an interesting conversation, sir.
Because I'm a little different. I'm a different type of dude. I like different stuff. So I think I'm more of a Kobe brain kind of guy. But Jordan, I don't need to talk to Jordan. Jordan's not that complex. Kobe was complex.
You know, I'm going to see what this documentary is like in August. We can talk about this next time too. Yeah, the documentary on Kobe is coming on Netflix in August.
When it comes, August?
August.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. Just like the Kanye West documentary. Did you see that?
Did not see that.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. The first episode, it lets you understand why he is who he is off top.
Well, I know people from Chicago, and he's been who he is for a long time.
Yeah. So that to me was very refreshing, and his relationship with his mom and stuff. So that kind of hit
he was tight with his mom. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. Well, J. Mike, thank you, sir. This has been a pleasure, man.
It was awesome, man. I appreciate you, man. Sorry, my internet's bad, man, but I get it together.
Don't worry about it. Like I told you before, we've worked on things. This is all about building, man.
Yeah.
We worked on things for a while to try to get our internet correct, our sound correct. Even when we go to shows, we worked on that almost since we ever started the channel. So it's all about the next step with the next episode. The next step.
But see, this is the thing. I spent $10,000 on a professional studio. I got like
I can tell what you got there looks very.
That's the Shure MS like $400 mic. I have like complete. I did Twitch. I was twitching for a while, so I bought all this stuff. But when I turned this room into my card room, I took everything from my garage. So I had a complete studio in my garage, and I brought everything up here, and I hadn't connected. So I was connecting it while I was waiting. So that was kind of what it is. And hey, and if anybody on here, because people are hitting the website, anybody on here that purchases anything tonight, I'll throw something extra in their order. Just mention that they were on the show tonight, and you'll get something extra in your order. If you buy if you buy my base card, I'll throw something else in there with it as well.
J. Mike, everybody. J. Mike FD. Keeping it real, baby. What's the play? See you all later.